What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sensei and the Pupil. I'm Cray. I got Dev with me.
Hey, guys.
We got Paul floating around.
Meaty.
Yes, Mitty. You saw the thumbnail. We are reviewing Made in Abyss.
Season 1.
Made in Abyss Season 1. Let's go. Guys, you saw the thummy. We're breaking down probably 2017's biggest anime, in my opinion.
You think?
That came at the time, dude. Made in Abyss was like, it was being talked about everywhere. It was talked about so much that I had to go watch it, and I was thoroughly disappointed when I watched it the first time. Because I was like, man, this is way too kiddish until the last 3 episodes. But as an adult, rewatching it again, because you forced us to, I
having a different a grasp on life,
Yeah.
it hit you a little bit different,
it hit me way different. And we're gonna talk about it. Paul, what is the quick synopsis of this thing? Quick.
Ooh.
Quick synopsis.
Real quick.
Set in this world, there is an anomaly called the Abyss, where a group of people called cave hunters go in and they raid the caves for relics.
Hey, raiders,
they sell for money. And it's about a specific group of kids that are cave raiders as well, and orphans, and their adventures to the bottom of the abyss.
That it?
That's it. That's what it's about.
So that's the overarching worldview. But what we get watching it is we're following young Rico, the daughter of one of the greatest white whistles ever born, Liza the Annihilator. And I kind of just put some sauce on it. I don't know if she's the greatest ever, but she's definitely well known. Like everybody kind of knows Liza, who's anybody.
I mean, she's like far down there, so like she has to be. She's far down in the abyss.
Yeah, she's like at the bottom of the layer. Yeah.
So she's got to be one of the top. White whistles.
So everybody's scared to go into the abyss at certain points, because the abyss, you can't rise up from the abyss easily. If you ascend in the abyss, depending on the level, different things happen. You could throw up, level 1. On 2, you lose senses of like what's up and what's down.
Hallucinations.
I believe 3 is hallucinations. If that's correct. Yeah, I believe 3 is default is hallucinations when you go up. 4 is once you go up, you bleed from every orifice. Yeah. And 5 is you cannot return. Well, no, 5 is you're basically you lose your humanity somewhat. And then 6 is you cannot return. You can't come back from 6 without dying. That is the laws of this abyss. This world, guys, is one of the coolest worlds I've ever experienced. This world building is like top tier, top notch, grade A. Like I could put this world building with any other anime. One Piece, Hunter x Hunter. Like I'm so interested in finding out more. And also, they don't give you a lot. They don't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. They don't tell you.
There's so much more that we could come to find out about this thing. They could add so many other layers and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So
and like it just hit me different, man. The music, I don't know about you guys, but the music was
yeah, that was good.
I feel like I was playing Halo, like I want to
explore. Like I want to go raid a cave real quick.
Yeah. Let's just hop right into Dev, your favorite moment in this show. Moment, theme.
So I'll go with the moment that probably hits the hardest of all of the season is when Reg has to kill Mitty.
Wow.
That was so hard, and it was even though you only knew Mitty for a brief moment, you really felt for her. You see who she was before what she became. This big old blob of flesh.
Yeah,
big old blob of flesh, basically. Because I don't want to get into her whole backstory, but anyways, she's no longer the little kid that she used to be. She's a blob of flesh, and she's it's not a way to live. So
that's a fact.
And, so Reg had to help a friend out, and they didn't know how to kill her, so the only way that they figured she could die is by Reg's cannon.
Reg's, plasma cannon, whatever it is, that just breaks everything down around it.
I
Yeah.
think he would have rather have helped her out pre-transformation though.
I mean, of course, but
No, I mean, like help her out though.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I don't know what you're talking about, dog. With this cannon. No.
Yeah. Canonically,
Well, one of the biggest things about that MIDI scene is that we're under the assumption that Nanachi, the girl the little bunny girl we meet who's taking care of MIDI, says that MIDI's in pain. She's saying MIDI's in pain. She's telling us that I think she's suffering. She can feel every time they try to kill her, but she's immortal. Right. I need somehow to kill her. All of that hinges on what the bunny says. What if MIDI's not suffering?
I was thinking, I was like, there's a fine line between doing like saying that and then like being a killer. You know?
Yeah, it's very
being a murderer is a very fine line. But you come to find out though,
she
was suffering because of Rico's like dream that she had while she was under. You come to find out of her. Yeah, you come to find out that exactly. So
she's like constantly crying the whole time.
Yeah.
In the end, it was okay.
That whole like that was her crying. That was her crying the entire time.
That's not funny. Yeah. I didn't want her to touch me, to be honest. When she crawled on top of Rico,
I was like, what? Dude,
what's underneath of her?
Get her off of her.
Yeah, she like a tentacle.
Dude, and that bond between her and Nanachi.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a special bond.
Nanachi wouldn't leave without her being dead.
I thought that she was gonna call it off. Like when she said, "Wait," I was like, "Oh, she's gonna call it off." No, yeah.
Well, let's hope we never see MIDI again.
Right.
Paul, what was your favorite part?
If I had to choose one, it has to be the introduction of the incinerator. It's probably like the first episode or so when you first meet, Ray. But it's cool because she's about to get attacked, the main character, by this split red jaw, whatever it is.
You remember what it was called? I think it was called the split jaw.
Split red jaw or something.
Yeah.
Split jaw. Yeah.
So it's like a creature it's huge and it's supposed to be in the depths, but somehow it came up just to feed. And she was unlucky enough to be chased by it, and she was about to die. And all of a sudden, this huge beam of energy came through all these trees. Was supposedly like hard as hell, but blasted right through them. Blasted that animal, and it ran away. And turns out it was Regu with his incinerator.
And you see the full strength and power of that. This guy has an arsenal on his arm.
And it's crazy because you don't really see the full strength. That was just him trying to save her. Like I think he could have done way more, and you see way more later on.
Yeah, kind of takes me off though, kind of like about just them finding Reg just like that, and like he doesn't have any memory.
Right.
It's like they never try to chase down like who he is.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, they do mention that because whenever in like the second episode, I think whenever she decides to go down, Rico says you can find your family.
Right.
So that's his whole. I think that's his whole.
Yeah, but like I understand that, but like. So they're just not gonna worry about what he was doing, like there on like the first level.
They are pretty friendly.
I feel like they're gonna.
No one's ever seen the whole world.
Yeah, like
no one's ever seen this thing, this machine, Android, and you just befriend it. Boom. Now, granted, he's friendly, so
he's a rare relic, so of course.
I know. What are the odds? Like he's gonna lose his whole memory, like right at that level, and like.
I hate memory loss in any anime because it's so lazy.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like they just like, oh, we got to put this guy right here so we can, he can be part of the story.
By the way, he knows everybody. Liza, the mom, he knows that Nanachi. Well, everybody, like he just knows them. Yeah,
I just feel like his memory loss ties into her story. So I think
it's going to for sure.
Right, but, and I think whenever she gradually progresses her own story, his memories will unlock. And that's part of, I think which is a cool way to do it.
Yeah. And quite honestly, it does kind of work in this anime because there's so much mystery at every episode, every corner. Right. It kind of works.
Because his memory kind of comes
for me, it works. Not for Devin.
Like the lower he gets to the abyss, I think the more his story comes out, which makes sense. Like it plays into their journey anyways.
That's fair. I think my favorite moment in this whole show was probably the moment with the orb piercer. On the Goblet of Giants. I think everybody, it's definitely the moment that kind of changed the show for me to like.
Definitely.
Yeah, it became more serious.
Yeah, the consequences felt like more serious before they were able to get out of every situation.
Pretty much with Reg, getting them out. and they realize real quick, like, yo, 4th level, we can't even deal with this, to be honest. Like she gets a little bit stabbed by this poison creature, fur, tail, whatever, and she's getting to the point where she's gonna die. Like, this is super lethal poison. And in that frantic moment, Reg is trying to find out what to do, and Rico's directing him, like, break my arm here. That way, the poison won't spread to my body. Cut it off. It was just way too deep and that fast. Like, it was, the show was kind of kiddie a little bit. They kept getting out of things, and we can get through this, and then it got real quick.
Well, once they left the other white whistle, chick,
okay.
Ozen.
Immovable.
Yeah, so once they left her, like, she told them, from here on out, the things are going to be way different.
Right. And she put them through a little training arc. She gave them a little training.
Yeah, little 10-day training, right?
They also kind of got thrown secondary training after, like, he finds out about the actual force field around everybody. Like, he never knew that.
That's like a
little extra training. She even taught him, hey, grab the orb weaver or whatever by his mask, and that's like his weakness. He senses the mist. So it's kind of that you learn about like a little fight mechanics. That, hey, the mist is very important in these fights, lower level.
Apparently, the abyss can read your most of the animals can read your consciousness.
Right through the abyss mist or whatever's around.
And which is what, like chakra?
The curse.
Yeah,
it's the curse. Whatever they call it.
It's chakra. It's Nin. Yeah, it's a little power system.
Key.
That's how you know Cray loves this anime, because it's got a little bit of Nin in it.
Once you get to season 2, okay, I'm gonna stop. Anyways, guys, what did you not like the most about this anime?
Can I go first? I want to go first.
You can go first, Paul. What ticked you off?
The MC's fighting capabilities are trash.
Who? Okay. Rico?
Yes, Rico cannot do anything other than, hey, I know what that is. Let me flip to my Pokédex and find out what this monster does specifically, and I'll tell you how to fight it. She does it like mid-fight. She's always being protected. She doesn't really do anything except for maybe one shot while she's protecting Reg with that pickaxe.
Bro, she was not ready to go down into the abyss.
She's 10.
So that is for sure. She was not ready to go in the abyss. By the way, she went into the abyss because the stuff ready. We know that, but that's not her character, guys. That's not her. And her character is the smart
young little girl who thinks she can go down there and just tackle.
Her character should be dead.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think she's gonna die.
Probably.
I think she's gonna die. It's gonna make Reg have to complete the mission without her. I think she's there to hit us hard the feels later on. Because she should be dead. She's a 10-year-old girl being protected by this boy who's granted a relic, but there's not really any way she could be alive. There's not really any way.
I feel like the poison should have already killed her. Like, the way she described the poison, this is a lethal poison that even the most advanced hunters, they always, like, in just a minute, they'll die. They end up dying.
Did say that.
Yeah, so it's like...
And luckily, like, Nanachi decided to help.
Yeah.
Luckily, yeah. Okay, so that might be my biggest gripe, just going off of Paul.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nanachi deciding to help.
Yeah.
Nanachi saving them might have been the greatest ass pull. It's up there in top ass pulls of all time.
But they kind of set it up because it's like, I feel like someone's watching me.
Someone was watching.
So they set that up. My thing is, so she was kind of like trying to she was using the cave raiders as experiments. So like she really didn't care too much about these cave raiders. So
why do these kids all of a sudden change their opinion? Yeah,
exactly. And she does. They do say, it was like, I just wanted you to stop crying or whatever. So, but
Nanachi, that the pull for Nanachi to save these people she's never met when she's been letting cave raiders die for thousands of years. Well, no, not thousands of years, but for a long time.
Yeah,
you just seemed really ass pully, and it just kind of, no, we're idiots, guys. I'm an idiot.
Well, I know because they reminded her of them.
No, it's because Reg used the incinerator on the orb piercer.
Oh, so that's why she wanted to use them.
Yeah, she noticed that was the only thing that could kill that. So she's like, maybe they can kill Mitty. That's why she saved them.
But still, she's still a fucker for waiting that long.
Wait, what?
She's still a fucker for late.
Oh yeah. She would definitely waited a long time. But to our point earlier, she didn't help anybody before. So that makes sense. So I guess my biggest gripe then is just Rico's too young. Yeah, me too. But I like her character in this show, but she shouldn't be in that abyss.
Yeah, let me run into a cavern and almost get killed.
Yeah, she shouldn't be in the abyss. And also the fact that they had like almost maybe the easiest descending experience of all time. Like cave raiders talk about finding monsters and everything nonstop, and these guys maybe fought 2 different monsters on their way down. Easiest descent of all time, right? Okay. Anyways, Dev.
I mean, they had like a little shortcut with
the arms.
with the arms.
Maybe
yeah.
so. Maybe so.
So that was kind of unfair. Like when they started doing that, I was like, oh, that's kind of broken. Everybody else is like having to to maneuver down there.
Yeah,
these guys are just like an elevators. Like, wow, okay.
That's so true. That's so true. Because there's no way Rico could have made it that far without it. Just like going down fast shortcuts. You're right.
Overlook it. Just overlook it, bro.
Yeah, just overlook it. Guys, who was your favorite character in this show?
Favorite character?
I can go first this time. Yeah, in season 1, I think Ozen might have been my favorite character. Ozen the Immovable.
Oh yeah.
Her whole deal with even testing them and telling her, "Yo, Liza's dead. You shouldn't even be alive."
Yeah.
All the whole test she did, I love that. That was sick. I loved it. She's just like she's preparing them in the only way she knows how, by tough love. I like Ozen.
It was tough too. She almost killed them.
But she also is the whole reason Rico's alive, by carrying up that damn relic with her in it.
Right.
That giant square.
Right.
So, because Rico was born in the Abyss, by the way, guys. Just so you know.
Oh yeah.
I think that actually is going to matter later. But,
oh yeah, it should. It has to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Nanachi.
Okay.
They just really gave her a good story. Something that really hits you. And her character was just in the end, you just really felt for her character, and I
wouldn't have been happy if she didn't go with them.
Yeah,
I would not have been happy if she did not go with them.
Yeah, she's now part of the team. So,
Paul.
He doesn't make a huge appearance, but it's slight, and he happens to be one of the baddest bad guys I've seen thus far. Bondrew has like a really short appearance. You barely even
can't use Bondrew for this.
Dude,
you piece of sheesh.
How okay? He was.
They barely showed him.
They barely showed him. But dude, if he did all this, he created Nanachi and Mitty. So the fact that he did all this in the pursuit of science and to study the Abyss is cold-blooded, and I like it. I like it a lot. I respect it. I do
too. I respect him a lot too. I love the guy. What are we rating this thing, guys?
I'll go first. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a solid 7.
I mean, it's all right.
So it was a very good story. Yeah, very good story. Some of the animation, it caught me off guard. Some of the CGI and stuff. I was watching, but
like chibi kind of kitty kind of.
So
I've never been a fan of the chibi art style either. Like when everybody looks like a little kid, even though they're adults sometimes. I never was a fan of that chibi.
I mean, I didn't mind the art style. I just didn't like how they drew some of the stuff in, or the CGI that they added in.
All the monsters were weirdly drawn. Did you notice that? They were like, all the monsters were like wet paint drawn. If you go back and look at it, they're like kind of splotchy. All the monsters, they don't look like the characters. It's interesting.
I think that's on purpose, though.
No, it is. But it was
a really good story. Really good story though. So and some good characters. So I'm gonna give it a 7.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a strong 9. Oof. I did not think that when I first watched it in 2017. Watching it back, this season is a strong 9. Simply, guys, you know what really stood out to me? But I should have said this earlier. The contrast. Rico's light and hope and naivety, and that their kids contrasted so strongly to me with this serious, mature world where you could die like that. With the Abyss, man. It was so much to the Abyss, and it just made it to like, how can these kids do this? And like it just the contrast of the character to the story, I don't know, I loved it. I'm giving it a 9. Loved it.
I'm gonna give it an 8, only because she's got saved too many times to me, and she could have done something more. But other than that, it was a good story. And to your point, Craig, the juxtaposition of hope against the real world and the abyss of hopelessness. Because you're supposed to you go down there to die, basically.
It's in a lot of animes.
That is in a lot of animes, but they showed it really well.
But they don't usually use 10-year-old kids to prove their point that hope like this. I mean, but they're usually older, they're teens enough to build their strength up most of the time. But it was a good anime overall, and I enjoyed it.
There's enough training arcs for Dev. I got it.
Right. Now, there's one.
Not enough kids die.
That's enough. Guys, we are Assistant the Pupil. If you want us to review the movie, the direct sequel of this called I think it's called Dawn of the Deep, the Abyss movie. Let us know in the comments section. Leave a like, sub for us. We out of here.